Mr. Sandoval. He's been in the beauty industry for 58 years. He is an award-winning hairdresser, and he brought a collage of his work, and he is here to talk to you about how far you can take cosmetology, in the field.
When we start this profession or this career, what we want is two things. Make a lot of money, number one, and be recognized for the world, be an artistic creator. So that's what you want. But the first, to make a lot of money, it takes not too much. This trade that you are learning open the doors in any place. Learn your trade, then you find a place where you can practice what you learn here. Not everybody will take you if you don't have the experience. And what the experience means? To have customers, to have clients. And how I am going to have clients? I just started, right? So, but there are places that will hire you to help them and to make your way. You have to keep yourself in good shape all the time. For the guys, it's not too difficult because we can work it out, we go to the gym, we starving or whatever. For the women, it's kind of hard to keep it in shape. You don't know how we, the old-timers, before 1960, I started in the 45. We were cutting hair with razor and to the guys with a big comb and the scissors. We never touched the hair. Why? Because we didn't shampoo it. So, who was the one who changed that philosophy in hair cutting? Vidal Sassoon, very good. That's the father of the hair cutting that you are doing now. 1980, a sculpture cut. What I'm talking precise direct haircut was a revolution, an ideology in hair cutting. And you know how he defeated the old big hairdressers in the world. At that time, the only one who were famous and really important in the fashion for hair in the world were the Europeans, especially France, Italy, Germany, and Spain. And what they did, they have many salons, they were rich, and the name of them is important. It's good to know the history of your work. Roger Parra, Alexander, but those guys, they only take customers, one customer for a week. If you want Alexander to take care of your hair, you have to make your appointment 1 year before, 6 months, or maybe 3 months if you are a queen or you are a multimillionaire woman. That was our profession in those days. And those days, you remember, the women had to come to the salon to do their hair every week. They don't shampoo their hair at home. Well, I'm talking about women who can afford, because it's a lot of women that they shampoo their hair their own and they put a ponytail and that's it. But I'm talking about the working woman, the professional women, and the rich women. I have customers that come 2-3 times a week to the salon just for me to fix their hair again. Of course, I didn't charge, but the tips were so good that I don't have to charge. 1960, precise haircut. Vidal Sassoon came out and he said, he proclaimed himself, or everybody told him that he was the king of the women liberation. Because in those days, the women come to the salon and you shampoo the hair and you roller set the hair and they were under the dryer for 30, 40, and 1 hour, according to how long hair and how many hair they have. And Sassoon came out, and you do it every day, cut the hair, shampoo the hair, cut it, design the haircut, and just, it can be wet, at that time probably it's dry, or you just towel dry and fix her a little bit and smile her, thank you, and that's it. I worked for Vidal Sassoon for 3 months just to learn the technique. It was brand new. He didn't have a beauty school. He didn't went to any beauty school to teach. He was given 3-4 month seminar. 1-day seminars in the Waldorf Astoria in New York, $1,000. And you learn whatever you can, you learn. I was 3 months, they were teaching me and the other, we were 4 assistants there, 1 hour class, once a week. I learned a lot. Well, when you are professional and you have been in several shows and several seminars, you know how to get the inside of everything. Okay, so direct, precise cut, Vidal Sassoon. 1980, a sculpture cut. This sculpture cut is when you become the second part, artistic creator. To be an artistic creator nowadays, you have to master this sculpture cut. Where you learn, you do your best, you go to the movie, you go to, especially in the hair shows. They are some. Look for pivot point. The razor is the tool that they are using mainly, but they need scissors. This pivot point is something that now are public. But you see here, 1950, that was pivot point. But that was pivot point before Sassoon. When those guys that receive a customer once a week, they work only 1 day a week, or 2 days, I don't know. Because what they did is, well, you are Mrs. So-and-so, or the Queen of England, or the Spain, or whatever. So you have an appointment, so you have facilities in his home. And you stay there for 1, 2, or 3 days, whatever he makes the bill, you know, because everything costs money. So he treats you and he advises you on your diet, on your exercise, your hair, how you take care of your hair, the hair cutting, the color is better for you, how to keep your color. He gives you the formula so your hairdresser can do it at home. They have a very, very sophisticated way to do it. So when Vidal Sassoon came out with this liberation for the women, they didn't agree. They have encounters. So Vidal Sassoon suffered a lot to put up his trade, his idea. Did you read the biography of Sassoon? His father. He was a barber. So as a barber, he was cutting with the big comb. And Vidal Sassoon was so young and so skinny. I have a picture of him. So he decided to use his fingers because the big comb is too heavy for me. I get tired. And he was cutting hair to men first. Then he was handsome, he was growing, and all really how the women start, or he went to a beauty salon for women, because on those days they were separate. Later on, now with him, become unisex, you know. We can cut men's hair for a long time. And the barbers now, they are going into cutting hair to women. In 1950 was pivot point. Pivot point was a secret trade that they put it in an association, a mysterious undercover or whatever. Only the rich hairdresser belong to that. They have to pay, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 to be a member. And they get into the pivot point. And I will tell you later how I got into that pivot point without paying a cent. I didn't know that I have it until later. Same thing with, on Vidal Sassoon, it cost me my time. At that time I was making $200, $300 a week. And I came to work for $65 a week with Vidal Sassoon to learn. So don't be afraid to waste your time or waste your money to learn, because what you put here, nobody can take it away. Nobody. Okay? But for this pivot point, what you were doing is triangle. That's the basic. When you learn to put the rollers in triangle, you have to move all the hair to one position, not the straight out, but only one position in point and roller according to the set that you're going to do. I saw my boss when I was studying that he was doing that, but he didn't tell me. He was an Italian guy that somehow he learned that. I don't think he was that rich. He had money. When he came, he opened his salon immediately. He started taking care of the wife of the president and all the rich people in my country. He had a big salon with manicurists and facials and everything. And I went over to help him at the beginning, and then I worked my way up, because I started working before going to school. No, there were no school when I started. After 2 years, then one school from Clairol opened up to teach coloring, but not how to do hair, how to cut hair, no, only coloring, bleach and coloring. And God bless me, I was one of the best, and I learned and I won these cups in coloring, hair cutting, and design. So I got everything. How it all began. Look at that. It looked like me.
Yeah.
That was 52 years ago. And that model that I have, do you like his profile? That's the mother of my kids, 5 kids. At that time, we were nothing. Oh yes, she was my manicurist, but she works in my salon. I have my salon already. It took me 3 years to have my salon without any money. I started to build it up. Actually, you know who saved the money for me? My mother. I was giving money to her, almost half for whatever I made, half for everything. And she spent everything in food, and the rest she was saving. And when this salon was on sale, I was sorry that I don't have any savings. And she said, I have some. And she gave me 5,000 soles in the country, and I gave my down payment. And in 2-3 months I paid it. 10,000 cost me. The salon. Something else that it's not easy. You have to work your heart out. You have to belong to the association. Do you hear about the association here? Well, they have affiliates in every state and in every city. Here in San Fernando Valley, we used to have the 34 affiliates. I don't know if it still is, because I quit a long time ago, but it helps a lot. They notice my quality in doing hair, even if my English wasn't too good, but I explain what I did, and I do the hair inside of the people, and that's where they put me in what they call the styles panel, P-A-N-E-L, panel. It was the best of the association in here. And I did several presentations because I had experience already. You will see. Okay, next, look my diploma. I graduated in color, and all those guys were my colleagues at that time. Next. This was one of my favorite models. She was a model on TV at that time, and later she married and went to Europe, and she became a very famous movie star. She makes several movies in Europe, in France. At that time I was the president of the association. There's a championship that I won. I didn't win. I had to show some of my failures too. But I was second. Here, another failure. That one over there smiling was the champion. And I was sorry there. But all my friends, they told me that my job was better, but he was the nephew of the judge.
Oh, judge's nephew.
That happened everywhere. I'm telling you what. Look at that.
Wow.
That was the award that I present Champion of Champions competition.
Champion of
We want to
champions.
prepare us to win the South American competition. So we called the 20 best hairdressers in the country. The 20 best hairdressers. As a matter of fact, we charged for being in the competition. And we paid, I think 20 or 50, I don't remember. So that's the final work. And here is when I was working with her. And that's the model that I have. She was 18, I guess, very young there. But she had such a beautiful hair. She was another winner in the South American competition because I have an employee and a student of mine that I trained. And she won the championship at that time. So she got the right to be in the Peruvian team that you are going to see later. And with this model, that the father was a rich guy and loved her daughter, and they went together to Chile, where was the competition. So my student, I gave my model to her. The hair was cutting already. All she had to do is to give it a touch-up because the roots grew. I give it a formula and everything, so she got everything done. An Austrian guy, that one of the companies in the country invite him to do demonstrations in the country, and they make up the date exactly. He arrived in the morning, and in the afternoon was the competition champions or champion, and he was the only judge for the 20. As a matter of fact, there were 19. One of them didn't participate. He was too famous, he didn't want to lose his credibility in the country because in competition, you know, anybody can win. But we were the 20 best. So if I lost with them, I don't care because they are good too, you know. But when it's an open, anybody, a student can go over there and he was lucky and make a beautiful style and defeat the other. But he had the right to be in the Peruvian team, and we won, and that's what we were doing. So the 5 best of that competition go to compete with the others that have experience and they were doing that one. Only the best compete, and they won in the team. So they were better than us for the experience, more or less. My last one, because I have 2 over there in Peru, and this one was almost complete. I have a gym in the back. I have people who cook. It's funny, the customers that were overweight, they sweat a lot in the gym. And then they ask for a steak and you know, potatoes and so they get the back.
He had the gym in the salon.
Finish at the top. That's what I was a champion of champion, and I finished in Peru. Now you're going to see what to do when you are in a big competition. To the top. Number 1, when you're a guy, don't fall with a trick that they always do when you go to a big competition, international competition. They put you beautiful girls, they call you and very friendly, and whenever you know you dance, you drink, and next day, be careful. Same thing for the girls, because they can give it, you know, handsome guys and be aware of that, okay? I was happy there because my wife was with me and she took the picture. I have my protector. Oh. This one was the winner. She's one of my practice. I was practicing there. So, there, another picture from my wife. And they want the picture, both of them, but my wife agreed and she took the picture. Why I have 2 girls there? Another trick. Backup. Yes, not only that, but the reason is because, and you tell them, they are like you, cosmetology students. That was in Chile. I didn't have a model. I went to the beauty school and I chose the best that I could, and I asked them, I need to, because I want to make sure that I can understand your hair. This is very important to me, and I can try both of you and see which is the one. Plus, I will choose the one who can afford to get good dresses for the fantasy style or the evening style, because the competition was cut, color, and design. But the design had to be daytime and transform the style into high fashion, artistic or evening style. This is the day style. And you can see if you like it or not, but at that time was one of the best. And with that setting, I had to transform that in what you are going to see next. But the points with this, when we finish this, how many minutes do you think they give us to do this style?
Half hour, 20 minutes.
10 minutes.
Oh,
Wow, 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
wow.
And last minute they start counting. You know? 1, 2, 3, and this is 0. You have to leave everything. You know, you have been in competition. Okay, over there is that champion that was smiling. He's watching the team. And that's my student. Well, she was a hairdresser already, but I changed her and I give all the secrets for being a winner. Next, that it was walking around, and look how many people they were. I'm going to tell you what happened that day. Okay, next. Wow. Final look.
Wow.
And look at the Coiffure de Paris. You know that. The best magazine for hairstylists in the world. They're still doing it. At that time, it was a top magazine. Now there are a lot, but he was one of the I think that belongs to People Point too, because they all work together. It's a big corporation. Now it's open. They are teaching that and they charge a lot. No, only for the members. In Peru, well, in this competition, no. Before, in Argentina, I went to a party, you know, with, and they told me, you want to be a member of the ICD, International Coiffure ICD. And I said, well, yes, why not? And I said, well, we're going to send you all the information and you can decide. And when they sent me the information, at the end, they said, your membership starts at $1,000. So they cut me off immediately. Thank you very much. They were offering, you know, every month we send you a magazine that is secret, is for only the top hairdressers and you know, a lot of blah, blah, blah. Okay, so the style, and you can see, I think that she lost one teeth. No, I don't think so. The winner. You know what they do this? They do this with the bullfighters. You know the bullfighters?
Yeah.
And they did it to me, and because my work was the best in point. Second, and they called me and I was another style there. Arrival, triumphal arrival to Peru. Look at that cap. And the guy smiled again. She had a beautiful smile, eh? I can tell that. And the skinny guy is there too. And, everybody, eh? And this style, I had to do it when they give me the gold medal. It was a big celebration for all of us. Repeat the style if I could. So I didn't have a model. I used this girl. I did the whole thing on her. It's not exactly, but it's the idea. why I could do this style in those times. You have any idea?
Pivot point?
Roller set.
Pivot point. I learned from my boss without knowing that I was learning that and without him to teach me. I opened my eyes and my brain. So, I still, and she is a beautiful model going up. My gold medal, real gold.
Wow.
Real gold. Nowadays, my daughter, she was here last time. It was a present for her because she asked me and I loved her so much. And I give it to her, so much. You keep it.
Is she a hairdresser?
So, it's real.
Is she a
18 cut.
Is she a hairdresser?
No, she's a MED psychologist. Okay. Diploma, the only one is that we received from Huela, still a big company. Studying, the name of all the Marta Cuadro, Benita Bravo, Rafael Sandoval, Hugo Castro, and Rufino Napo. Next. When we come back to the country, the best newspaper give us a report and the pictures of all the winners. Peru, champion of hairdressing. This is another student for me. Why? He came to me without education, without nothing, and worked with me 2-3 years, helping in everything. He was my secretary, my handyman, everything. And he became a stylist, and he won the championship, and he went to Uruguay to compete himself. He followed my guidance, but he didn't win, sorry. And this is my last report from the Coiffure de Paris. They said my autobiography there, where I born, how old I am, what I did, what I liked. And they made me to do another style with the pivot point that I didn't know yet. I knew about pivot point when I came to America. I mean, that's what I was doing. Here, one guy, I don't know how he learned, he was a teacher, he technical trade in Los Angeles. I was champion, I had my 2 salons, and I had so much money, and I went over there to learn. Don't be afraid to learn. No matter how good you are, or how much money your grandmother has, but you have to learn. It's your family. It's your family, you love it, but it's you.
Mr. Sandoval?
Okay? Yes.
What is the English? What does that mean?
Oh, the title semifusa is a name for a music key. When you put a key, the sound of, no, it's not key, it's treble key.
Treble
Yeah,
key.
in Spanish semifusa, when it's hard for the value. I'm crazy for music too. I like music. I like to sing. I don't sing well, but I'm a champion. But I like for Fermodil. Anybody here know Fermodil?
Yes.
Yes, one. It's one of the best hair. No watching how you say a product that you don't rinse it out. You leave it in condition. The one or the first one. It was on Circuit too. Maybe it belongs to Pivot Point. It's a big company. Oh, this, when I was here in America, my first job was in Colorado. They advertised me and said, well, this style I did it on TV. This company was so big, they have 2 big hairdressers, 34 hairdressers. And 10 or 12 manicurists, 2-3 facialists. It's a big, big salon in Colorado. I was there 1 year. I worked there only 1 month. I just tried to see how
Texas.
I could do it. It was in Houston. Very good place. And this is in Los Angeles. Maybe you are familiar with Los Phillies, Hairdressers, the Kirk company. I was there. Learning from the master. I still learn. That fat guy, yeah, that one, Vidal Sassoon. Okay? That's one of the ladies. I didn't cut hair. I told you already, I was there as an assistant, $65 straight. But the tips, 1 cup of coffee, $5 or $10. One coat, same thing. Those people, you know, rich people. You know what is Salon, Sassoon Salon? Drive. Beverly Hills. All right, I met a lot of movie stars, but I was just shampooing their hair at that time. The same lady, look at that style that he did, look. Brand styles that are up to date, but that was, what, in 1974, 75. On my own. For the first time, my first salon. See how many are. Look at that. I got experience, so I know how to advertise myself. Beauty Center. Rafael Beauty Center. In Van Nuys. It was on Fulton and
What year is this? What year is this?
that was 73 probably. 73, 75.
And about the population here at that time was?
It was American. But in 5 years or 4 years, changed. Little by little will change. Now it's Latin. I sold it. I sold it because my daughter married and I need the money. Why? Because he chose the Jewish guy. He was a Jew, and the Jew tradition, the guy paid for everything. So I had to sacrifice that, but I have another one. So two salons, so I can sell one. I sold the one that my sweetheart, my wife. You see, she was with me all the time. She liked to be my model. But at that time when I was too busy, I told her, you want to keep being my model, you have to cut your hair. Because long hair takes too much time. And she said, forget it. So she has all the hairdressers want to do her hair, so no problem. Channel 34, very important. When you are in business, you have to look for free advertising. Here I'm showing the roller set and the blow dryer, okay? And explaining the difference and which you prefer. Both are good. It's up to you. Next, my third salon in Heritage. This one very close here in Woodley and Martini. That one is an Italian model that I did prepare and they took it. Create one style for the association. The association asked me to do a presentation, but different. They don't want to see the same style all the time. So, and I changed I put a name too, Latin Soul. What is better for a Latin guy, you know? My soul is there. Look at that. I have an artistic designer to do my logo for this invitation. This is an invitation, a free invitation for a fashion show. There were 10, 12 models, men and women, and 10, 12 hairdressers that I have at that time. And I introduce them and I make it big, and I love the clientele and free. Every hairdresser has the right to have 10 to 20 invites. So I complete 100 that the place, the restaurant, want to have clientele. So they work for free, they have band, they have entertainment, they have everything. They give her a little food so they can try it. If you want more, you have to order. No drinks. You want drink, you have to order. Everything inside. See? And the picture of the other one, 1982, beauty center, and the Agua Dulce is a Peruvian band. I know the guy, so I told him, you want what is the position? No, when you expose your band or your whatever you want, you can go there and play for free. And they said, well, at least they pay my transportation. Oh yes, they pay the transportation. This is the star of one of the stars, the festival that we have over there. Those are my hairdressers. The one that is back is Mexican. The one that is in flowers is American. Over there, 2 American more. And the guy, I don't know what he's thinking, looking to the model. This is another show. The same painter or drawing guy. He was stuck art graphic, and he was our neighbor, a very close friend of my son here. He engineer, electrical engineer, and they both went to school together. So everything was for free. I didn't pay for models. I didn't pay for the locals. I was a poor guy. I have 5 kids to take care of, and a beautiful voice. This is inside. International Hair Fashion, the name of all the styles. Super Haircut was one, and the other one Inheritor. And the place was Florentine Garden. Everybody knows that?
Yes.
Yeah, very famous. Restaurant auditorium. The owner of this guy was a Peruvian he met me because he went to my salon in Peru when he was 12 or 10 years old. The mother or the aunt took her to the salon, and he was a rascal. And I remember him because I said, hey, you stay there. And I put my secretary and my cashier to take care of him. And he remembered that, you put me there sitting. and now he's a millionaire. He has 2 places, or 3, I don't know how many. Another show. That's my sister. My sister, she followed me. She took care of my first salon in Peru and took care of my mother when I got married. Everything in the family. This is the first salon inside. That's my daughter. She is an MD psychology now. That's the only one. The other ones are, oh, my wife. Another one, yeah. A little older, you know. Women's old age faster than the guys. I don't know why. Next, another creation, the cat claw. It was famous in Peru. It's a vegetable that restores your defense and your body. They say that it's good for this, for that, for that. It's
immunity.
for your defense. That's all. Your body born with a defense that you are losing through the years. And this vegetable restores that. That's what I'm taking.
Cat's claw.
Champion of the world. Those journalists are funny. I'm a champion of the world. What I did is I defeat the champion in faster haircut. This was one in the Guinness Book that have 1 minute or 62 seconds in cutting hair. Long hair.
Wow.
And I did it in 58. So look at this. Another of the shows that there are all beautiful girls models. This is my last salon. It's a big salon. I have 8 hairdressers, 6 manicurists, 4 assistants, 2 receptionists. Big one. I was tired to have 2 salons. Too much hassle. Yeah, that was the last one. Trying to get the Guinness Book. Again, my poor wife. She was my model. I cut her hair in 58 seconds. That lady over there, she's the president of the barbers here in America. And the guy over there was the president of the affiliate 34 here in San Fernando. So they were witnesses and judge for the timing and the way I cut the hair.
Did you get into Guinness Book though?
Yeah, well, I sent everything because the president told me that you probably you get there. So we sent the pictures, reporter of the newspaper, everything, and they answered me this. Sorry, we cannot give you the title because it wasn't a competition with the actual champion. It was an English. You have to invite him and invite everybody who wants to compete with you, and if you defeat them, then you are the champion.
Oh, so you defeat the actually wasn't fair, huh?
You know, it looked fair to me because I did it on my own, and even without permit of them. If I tell them I'm going to do this with this and that, the papers and everything, they probably will say no. You have to do it the right way. But I didn't say it. I just did it, and I communicate with them. At the moment where I cut it, another one I did it like 3 times a year. Because people giving back. That's when I come back to Peru to show them Vidal Sassoon technique. That's a very nice report that the best newspaper in Peru give it to me all my trajectory. I was showing them how to start cutting Vidal Sassoon style. Going back to school. You can do it before if you have the money or the desire, but that's when I got my, there is 5 years straight technical college. What is this? People point. People point the right way. That's what I know exactly how to do it now. All my teachers, as a matter of fact, I want that started my career in the college. It's not easy to get this job. There are so many hairdressers that have the titles and they cannot get the job. And I got it. Because one of my students in Newberry, she remembered me and she was the supervisor in Santa Monica College. I didn't remember her because there's so many, you know. And she told me, Mr. Sandoval, you don't remember me? Oh, yeah, no. Well, you were pushing me to learn people point. So people point have been a blessing for me. God put it on my way.